Hello, hello, everyone. It's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean, and I'm here to guide you through your yin yoga practice. Pardon me if you were checking out the first video. I did just restart the video because I realized the headphones were not connected to my cell phone, and I wanted to be able to talk quietly so we could really relax through this class. So today's class, we're going to get started in just about 1 minute on the floor. It's all about opening through the chest, the neck, the shoulders, the back. I just had my booster, so I got a little bit of a sore arm, presuming that many other people are also maybe feeling this or will be getting a booster or somewhere along the path of the vaccination or just in life. Maybe you get a shot and you're just feeling kind of tense, or maybe work has you feeling a little bit crunchy and tense, or life, right, Uncle Buck? All right, so gather any props that you have. I've got my meditation cushion. If you don't have a meditation cushion, a yoga block is a great option. I didn't have any towels free at the moment, so I'm bringing some leg warmers. It's just something that I can kind of tuck into places for a little extra support. So giving you that 1 more minute until we get started, just to set your space up, relax, start to slow your breath down. And begin to focus on your exhale, making your exhale a little bit longer than your inhale. Okay. All right. I'm dressed nice and warm because this is yin yoga. So being a little bit warm can help one to feel a little bit more flexible sometimes. So whether you crank the heat up or just dress in some comfortable, loose clothing, you want to be wearing something that you're not going to find yourself fidgeting and moving around, because the whole goal of class today is stillness. So let's come into it. Coming into whatever easy seated position works for you. Make any adjustments that you need to right now with your clothes, with your props. And slow down that breath again. Find some length through the crown of your head. Do your best to stack those shoulders on top of your hips, especially if you're sitting cross-legged like me. Otherwise, just working towards a lift in general. So throughout this class, the goal is creating a little bit more space and relaxation. Also enjoying these long holds. So let your breath be your guide. Make sure that however deep of a stretch you're in, it's not so deep that you find yourself limiting or holding your breath. If at any point a stretch becomes painful, if it moves away from just being noticeable and uncomfortable, take a moment, ease yourself out, find a new point of stillness, and just do your best. With practice comes patience. So it's normal if you'll feel some sort of like twitching or involuntary movements. We're just working to get rid of the involuntary movements. This class is so great for anyone who, when you're feeling stressed, you might find yourself reaching for an outside something for comfort. So whether that outside something be, you're fidgeting, or a glass of water, or maybe you find yourself involuntary snacking on things just because maybe food makes you feel a little bit more relaxed, maybe having that drink. So right here, we're just practicing using our breath, taking a couple of breaths, being within the moment, appreciating each moment, and finding that stillness. It really is so powerful and so useful off of the mat. All right, we've got 30 seconds more right here, just breathing, being still. Hopefully your body's still feeling good. If you're feeling any discomfort in that lower back from this seated position, I encourage you to focus on drawing that core in a little bit more for some support. And with time, you too will be able to sit here with stillness. All right, so next up, we're going to get some movement within the neck. So once again, lift from the crown of your head. Take a moment, inhale those shoulders all the way up towards your ears. Exhale, bring them down and then roll them back. Chest is lifted. Shoulder blades are gently squeezed in towards each other. So let's keep that squeeze of the shoulder blades towards each other. Maybe elbows draw a little further back towards the wall behind you. Hands, palms might come closer to your hips and either palms facing up towards the ceiling or hands down to help you a little with this lift. All right, so shoulder blades still squeezing. Make sure you didn't flare that rib cage out. So pull your rib cage in towards itself. That core is nice and engaged. Chest is lifted, shoulders down and back. Inhale, nose up towards the ceiling. Exhale, tuck your chin towards your chest. Get all of the stale air out. Inhale up. Exhale down. And you're just moving at the pace that works for you. So maybe your breath is a little bit faster than mine. Maybe your breath is a little bit slower. Just a couple more breaths right here. I encourage you to close your eyes through today's practice because if your eyes are moving and shifting around the room, then your mind is moving and shifting around the room. So just do your best to create the shapes and whatnot that I described if you dare to keep those eyes closed. All right, next time the chin comes towards your chest, re-squeeze those shoulder blades together, and then inhale, just bring your head up to center. Take a moment, shake those shoulders out. All right. Next up, inhale your arms up as high as feels good for you today. Oh, mine are pretty tight. So I'm not going to get them super high. That's okay. Bring your hands, palms together. I lied. Don't bring your hands, palms together. Bring your hands, palms to your shoulders. That's what I meant. Awesome. We're just going to do some elbow kisses in two directions. So chin gently tucks towards your chest. Be gentle. We're warming up that mid and lower back here. Using your breath again to find a nice big lift. Inhale up. Exhale. Elbows come towards each other behind you and also down within that exhale. So inhale forwards and up. Exhale down and back. Getting about 5 on each side. So if you're moving with me, we're halfway through right here. Ooh. All right, and the next time that we get our elbows down towards the floor, we'll just take a moment, pause with that chest lifted, belly in nice and tight, shoulder blades squeeze, and let's change direction of those shoulder circles. So fingers are just like gentle spiders. Maybe one arm has a little bit more range of motion than the other, and that's okay. So inhaling back and up, exhaling forward and down. 2 more of these, inhale back and up. Exhale, forward, down. Last one. When you finish and your elbows come down by your side, we're just going to relax and release our hands towards our thighs. Find that lift with your chest, and then turn your hands, palms over. Start to stretch your fingers. So maybe your hands even come forward of your knees. So we're coming out of that nice straight spine, a little tucking of your chin towards your chest. Actively draw your belly button back towards that spine as well. So your belly is drawn in, maybe even collapsing on itself. I'm going to remove this prop from underneath of me so I can find a little bit more space. Feel free to make any quick adjustments you need to as well. All right, awesome. So we're hanging out in a version of cat here, same as we might from the floor, but without the pressure really into our hands, palms, and wrists. So a little bit more gentle through that upper shoulder area with more of a focus on that mid back. So keep that breath slow. Notice if you really crunch those ears towards your shoulders. See if you can even create some space here. Still enjoying this nice rounding. Use that inhale to feel that deep stretch along the mid ribs in the back. All right, next big inhale. Go ahead and lift yourself up. We're going to come on down onto our bellies. Keep those props nearby, particularly if you got like that small little towel or sock or something, because next up we're going to go for a little half bow tie. So as you make your way down, lay on your side, whichever side you would prefer. So you can relax. You can take a little bend to your knees right here too. You're going to extend your arm out so that your hand palm is just about in line with your shoulder, like you're reaching for something all the way over on the other side. And then we're going to gently roll over so that your upper body is gently supported, the chest is supported on this arm, and we're just rolling onto it as much as we can. So obviously, if you're having any discomfort in one shoulder or another, maybe one side of this is going to be a lot easier for you. Let me tell you what you can do with this opposite hand. If it feels good, you can reach this opposite hand all the way up and forward. For me, that is not feeling so good. So you can also use that hand palm as a pillow, or if you can't quite reach that hand palm, use your prop. So you're rolling onto the floor. You can separate those legs, spending a little extra time getting into it on this side. Not that I won't give you plenty of time on the other side. But take a little bit of pressure from that upper body, chest into that upper arm, really opening through the back. And just breathe through it. And if you couldn't get your chest all the way to the floor, that's okay. Maybe you're a lot more open in this posture and you can still find something to relax your head on, relax through the upper body, scan yourself from head to toe. Where do you hold your tension? Is it in your face? Is it in your glutes? Check in on that spot and actively send your breath there to release it. We're going to be here for one more minute. All right, carefully take your time. Come out one step at a time, opposite the way you went in. So if you extended your arm up above your head, carefully bring it in, use it for some support, and then roll over onto your back for a second. Send those knees up towards the ceiling. Maybe give yourself some circles with your shoulder, even while you're down here on the floor. Just gently shake it out. Did you feel any fun twitches or trembles while we were in that posture? I know I did. All right, I'm going to move over to make some space for myself, and we're going to do pretty much the same thing on the other side. So once again, starting with that hand palm down towards the floor, palm facing down towards the floor, in line with your shoulder, armpit. And then we're going to roll over onto it the best that we can. So I'm using my opposite hand to help me to get that belly down towards the floor. And I'm just going to turn back and get the timer. Great. So we've got just about 3 minutes total in this posture. And the good news is you've already spent some of those 3 minutes getting into the posture. So ask yourself, can you find 2 minutes of total stillness right here? And remember, both sides of the body are not the same. So maybe what was easy open on one side is a little less open on the other side. And if you find that your hand palm starts to come up off of the floor, that's okay too. Slow your breath down, check in, scan yourself for those tense spots, and just breathe and be. I feel like I should apologize if my breath sounds very loud. In my head right now, it sounds very loud, but also peaceful. So inhale and exhale should be slow and smooth. And if you're hearing mine, I hope it sounds just like the roll of the ocean. Final minute right here. Great work. We're going to carefully come out, but this time stay on your belly. So if you extended that opposite hand forward, go ahead, bring it down in front of your chest. Roll over onto your side still, just for a second, just to get that arm out. Carefully. And then still bellies towards the floor. We're coming into Sphinx Pose. So working to bring your hands, palms down to the mat in line with your elbows, which are underneath of your shoulders. If this is too much pressure on your lower back, go ahead, cross one hand down, arm over the other, and bring your forehead down towards the floor. And find yourself an alligator in here. So I'm just going to stay here. And we're here for just about 1 minute. If you're in Sphinx, feel free to tuck your chin down towards your chest. Awesome. Great work. We're going to press ourselves up into tabletop. Take your time to get there. If you want to give yourself a little cat-cow here, especially if you're in that sphinx and that lower back is feeling tired at all, take a moment to shake it out. While you shake it out, I'm just going to tuck my shirt into my pants. Next up, we've got puppy pose or melting heart. Now, if you're at home, I encourage you to not mess with your costume, with whatever you're wearing at all. But for the internet and work purposes, I'm going to show as little skin as we can. All right, so next up we've got puppy pose or melting heart pose. You might, if you are feeling really tight through that chest and upper back, keep this prop nearby. Gently walk your hands forward, one nice big step, and then bring your forearms down towards the mat. Great. So for a gentler version of this, you can stay right here. Hips still stacked somewhat above those knees. The more above the knees they are, the more challenging it is. The more child's pose like they are, the easier. You can always walk those hands forward more. You can even bring your chin forward to get more of a stretch through the neck. As you work to bring that chest down towards the floor, we got 1 minute right here. Try not to dump into your back here. So keep a little bit of pressure onto your knees. Otherwise, you find a little dumping of belly towards the floor, pressing into your knees, and still finding a little lift of your hips towards the back of the room can help to ease any pressure in the lower back that you might have initially felt in this posture. Great work. We're going to carefully start making our way back out. So work to straighten those arms. Walk your hands in. Give yourself a cat-cow or another cat-cow if you already enjoyed some. Awesome work. All right, let's take the focus off of that lower body. Give a little bit of, off of the upper body. Bring a little love to the lower body. So for this next one, I want you to open your knees a little bit wider, about match width distance apart. We're going to come into a 90-90. So whichever foot you want to, I'm taking my right foot and I'm bringing the toes of my right foot closer towards the left knee. So as I walk my hands back, I'm already in that 90-90. So just showing you from another direction. I got my knees nice and wide. Maybe your knees are even a little bit wider than that. And I bring one toe forward as much as I can, and then just walk it back to a seated position. Bam. So you can gently straighten those legs out. Can you get the inner sole of your back foot towards the floor? Sometimes this can be a little bit easier, I think, if you have your toe pointed. But see if you can challenge yourself. Another great opportunity to use your socks or rolled up towel to work to just gently sit back into that 90-90. Let's stay here for 2 minutes. So you can take this a little bit easier on yourself by bringing your opposite hand down towards the floor, or maybe both hands down towards the floor, turning it into a gentle little spine twist with less of a focus on the stretch and opening of your hips. Or same thing, lift it up. Ooh, I'm going to stay forward. I like the stretch that's happening within that outer to upper thigh of the back leg. Close your eyes, find your stillness, find your breath. I don't know about you, but I noticed I was just really collapsing my chest here. So I just worked to lift that heart a little bit taller. Last big breath right here. We're going to keep this bent leg behind us, but remove any prop you might have there. In fact, I'm even going to take this bent leg and bring it in a little bit closer as you extend your forward leg to the front. And you can bring your knees a little closer together if you would like. We're in like a runner stretch or half hero pose. So instead of having all of your weight dumped into your front leg, work to bring some weight towards that back leg. And that might mean that you have to bring this back leg out a little bit further than you have it. The closer that you have it in, the more challenging this posture is going to be. I'm really working to sit the glute as much as I can, kind of cradling it next to the inner sole of the foot. I know this is a challenging one, so we got 1 minute left right here. And if you need to, you can bring those hands behind you for a little support. Great work. I'm sure you did your best with that stillness, and your best is always enough. So now we're going to take this bent back leg and bring the inner sole of its foot to our straightened leg's thigh. Ooh, for a little half dragonfly. So once again, you can always bring your hands behind you. You can open this leg to the side as much as feels good. Get a nice stretch through the inner thigh of your extended leg, a little bit more work into that hip flexor of your bent knee. Either hands behind you, keeping it gentle for some support, or hands in front of you. Consider taking a slight little forward hinge. You might notice that some postures, it's easier to find that comfort in, that stillness than others. Every day is different. Every day your body is different. So just because something is challenging or it's hard to find the stillness in a posture today, maybe if you tried it in a couple hours or tomorrow or next week, you'd find it a lot easier to just relax and release. We're in our last minute of this half dragonfly. Great work. All right, let's go ahead. Bend both of your knees. Bring those hands behind you. Feel free to take some rounding through your back and shoulders, some windshield wipes through those legs. Just 1 minute of free movement to find the stretch we might not have hit yet that feels right for your body or that you need here towards the end of the class, almost like an intentional fidget break. Don't you scratch that face, Uncle Buck. Don't scratch it. Don't do it. Find your stillness with us, buddy. Proud of you. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other side that we just did on our legs. So you can come into it right here from these two bent knees, feet on the floor. Just drop those legs to the side and find yourself in a version of 90-90. Maybe you tighten it up a little bit. Maybe you bring your prop back to the party to help you sit down. Remember, you have that option to turn it into a little bit more of a spine twist if the hip opener feels a little bit too tight. Just going to bring the timer to a more visible place. We got 2 minutes here. You're already in it. And remember, you don't have to do the exact same thing on this side that you did on the other side. So as you're scanning your body, 1 minute left right here. Check for those points of tension, and they might not even be in the area that we're stretching. So maybe if you are carrying your feelings or any other issues in your shoulders, you're still just thinking of sending your breath towards that space, of using every exhale to just let it go, every inhale to bring some fresh air, even if it's just like a pinprick's amount of extra space and light and intention to lessen the pain in your load. Okay, we're gonna do our little hero pose or modified runner stretch. So bringing that back leg in a little bit closer, working that glute towards the floor. We're gonna extend our front leg in front of us. So you can work to bring those knees in side by side, or you can keep that knee out. Whatever it is that helps you work that glute towards the floor. Maybe you're still lifting yourself up gently on some sort of a prop. We got 1 minute right here in our half hero pose. Just doing your best. Just find some stillness somewhere. What can you do today? All right. Next up is that half dragonfly. So taking that back bent knee, just flipping the direction that it's in and bringing the sole of your foot towards your opposite extended leg inner thigh. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. Up to you. You can have your hands behind you. You can bring those hands in front of you. 2 minutes right here. Check in on those tense spots. You've got a few more breaths left. All right, let's carefully lift ourselves up if you went for a forward fold, or bring those arms in front of you for a moment. We're gonna finish up our upright positions with a little full dragonfly. So if you need to bring those hands back behind you, you can. Maybe you bring your hands in front of you. Maybe the floor feels kind of far, so you bring a prop to the party. I want you to really scan your body from head to toe, though. So many times, I think it's so interesting that, at the end of the night, I'll be laying in bed watching TV, and I'm like, I'm so comfortable. And then if I scan my body from head to toe, it's like, I'm watching TV in like the weirdest position, and I could melt so much more into the space. So that's what I want you to focus on right now, if you've ever noticed that for yourself, or maybe you'll notice it right now. How when we first come into a position, we're still so guarded, our muscles are still really actively working to lift and keep us there. But a moment or so with your breath, maybe you need to make an adjustment, but you can create some more space. You can take so much of the crunch out of your body. So join me, do that right now. We'll spend 1 minute right here. You can allow those tools to fall forward or inward. Okay, carefully lift yourself up. Take your time, make your way over onto your back for our last posture, corpse pose. Go ahead, extend those legs out. Feel free to open them as wide as feels good for you. Same with your arms. Or maybe keep everything nice and close to the mat, to the center line of your body. Find what feels good. And then melt into your mat as much as possible. Once again, starting with your head, making sure you're getting some good pressure from the back of your head, shoulders, upper back, mid back, low back, glutes, thighs, calves, heels, maybe even the outsides of your feet touching the floor. And if that feels uncomfortable or it's too much on your low back, you can always bend your knees, tent them together. Take that slight tilt of your pelvis to get a little bit more of your back nice and flat, relaxed on the mat. Just coming into whatever version of Savasana feels good for you. And please don't think of this as a throwaway posture. This is a great time for you to just enjoy relaxed and hopefully easy stillness, to tune back into your breath, to notice how your body is feeling right now, to take in all of the stretches and movement or lack of movement that we enjoyed together today. Well, everyone, that is the time that we have together today. You are welcome and encouraged to stay in this savasana as long as feels good for you. If you'd like to close class out together, before you get up, I want you to think of one positive something something that you got out of class today. Hopefully, there are so many positive things that it's hard to just think of one. Whether it maybe be that you got some deep breaths, or you created some space, you made some openings that you know later will help to heal and create some release and feel good. Maybe you're not in the greatest of moods and this helped to lighten your mood. Or you just created some me time for yourself. You took some space from your desk. Whatever it is, perhaps it can bring a smile to your face. And if you'd like to close class out together, carefully take that time to make your way up to a seated position. When you get there, bring your hands palms together at the center of your chest with your thumbs touching on your sternum. Take a moment, tuck your chin to your chest, bow down to honor yourself. You are amazing. I'm so glad that you came and joined me today. If you have any questions or concerns about anything that I said or we did, please reach out. Till we see each other again, think good thoughts, speak good words, eat good foods, do good deeds, take the time to nourish yourself from the inside out. This was an amazing start. I hope you know how much I appreciate you. The light in me honors and sees the light in you. And may we say, Namaste. Thanks for coming. Thank you guys so much.